Hello again, this is Janelle, who is, of course, for those of you familiar with her videos, is Asherah, the mother, consort of Yahweh. Now, as we are now closing on Lucifer, the best acknowledgement of the gender of Lucifer is expressed by the words dragon in the New Testament and lady in the Old. Then the number 666 and Lucifer, compelling its demonized men to alter the holy books. But you see, all human souls are female, and there is a marriage planned, which is the basis of what the Bible is all about. And the prophets spoke of the marriage between humankind and the Father, Yahweh, who came to the earth as Jesus, died on the cross because of the parable where God loved the people, not the people loved God. And that's why it was done. So the holy books have all been polluted and changed. The only one that was remotely genuine was the King James Version, because King James himself was a victim of Freemasonry. They had actually beheaded his mother when he was 21 years old, and he couldn't stop it, although he was King of Scotland. Elizabeth the First had beheaded her under trumped up charges that she was trying to have the Elizabeth, the Queen of England, beheaded. She was actually in confinement under house arrest for 14 years or so in England, so she couldn't do much about it, and the king was eventually rewarded by the work of Edward de Vere, who was William Shakespeare, who got him the job. Now, we're going to talk about the 6,666 verses written by the scribes employed by the Muslim caliphs. They were mostly all illiterate, and the scribes at the time were fluent in Hebrew, Greek and Aramaic, and they were the Pharisees, demonized Jews out of Babylon. They weren't really Jews at all. They claimed to be Jews, but they weren't. So it originally had 6,666 verses. When they found out, they reduced that down by several hundred. And the same applies for the King James Bible. There's 6,666 verses with the word Lord. And then when it was found out in 1878, they changed the King James. They didn't bother to tell anybody, they just changed it. So what we are looking at is, at the time of Nebuchadnezzar, the captivity of Jerusalem in 586 BC, the same Jews were left to establish religious and political control over the area. They remained there for a very long period of time until 444 BC. There was an exodus of true Jews out of that were in the captivity in 586 BC. This is the descendants of Ezekiel and Daniel and so forth. And we've got Isaiah 44:28 that saith of Cyrus, he is my shepherd and shall perform all my pleasure, even saying to Jerusalem, thou shalt be built, and to the temple thy foundation shall be laid. So this was a complete rebuilding of the temple, and Zerubbabel returned with much of the temple implements and many people in 444 BC to rebuild the temple. So here is Zechariah. He's mentioning the same thing. Now, the Babylonian numbering system goes up to 666. They actually regarded the sun as being 666. So we have a 2/3 of 666, which is 444. So we have a synchronicity of numbers, and 444 is a man in Revelation 13:18. So Zerubbabel himself is the genetic line of Jesus, and this produced the offspring of the royal line, and Yahweh came to the earth as Joshua, which means Jah saves, or English it is Jesus. In Greek it's Iesus. The number Zerubbabel is a clue because it is 2 2216 in Greek and in Hebrew concordance numbers. It's found at Revelation 22:16 is a clue. I, Jesus, have sent mine angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David and the bright and morning star Venus. Now, Venus is what it's all about. The false Jews would eventually form a pact with Greece, then Rome, as they did with all that they could seduce. And by the time of 153 BC, Rome had entered Jerusalem, and the true royal line of Judah, that is the Essenes, moved to Qumran, where the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered in 1947 and suppressed by the Vatican, because they are under the control of the same Babylonian Jews, which today we call the Khazars, Zionist. Now, Jesus was crucified the third day of after the third month in the year 33 AD. So we have 3333, which is half of 6666. On October the 4th, 1582, the Gregorian calendar was adjusted, and by the order of Pope Gregory the 13th. And he ordered that 10 days be added to the calendar due to the slight creep